Well, here we go, getting into game number 2 of this series between Liquid Snute and Contentgaga, spawning in the lower left-hand corner, currently leading the series 1-0. It's Liquid Snute.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map as the blue Terran, it is Contentgaga.
Okay, so finally we will we'll get a match underway here, which is not a mirror matchup. So actually going to be a TVZ here on Blackpink LE, and well, very early game here. Contentgaga is indeed building surprise at barracks, and was that a 14 pull from Liquid Snute?
It was certainly early.
Oh, that was a very early spawning pull. Is he just gonna Ling rush his opponent here? Well, hatch does go down. Gas will come out as well. I think we probably will just see a 2-base Ling all in here.
I
mean, it's not
possibly. It could also just be Ling, like 4 to 8 Lings to deny the low ground expansion.
It could, but that's a very...
Well, actually, he took gas, so your first statement may be more likely.
Yeah, I mean, it does... He definitely wants to get speed out, although it is going to be a little bit late, but... I mean, we'll see once the second hatchery finishes whether he goes back into droning, or whether he will just mass...
Yeah, that will be a good indicator of his intent.
Well, Contentgaga, meanwhile, hasn't sent out any SCV scout. We will see that Reaper start to move out onto the map here, but Contentgaga has expanded blind, and looks like he's going for certainly a factory on the way at the moment. We'll see if he wants to go for a 1-1-1 or a 2-1-1 open here against Snute. So do I actually see... Yeah.
Skirted around the Reaper, and it's drones.
It is indeed drones.
So wow, he's actually going to try and get this SCV with just 2 Lings, and I think he will get it. He's already delayed the CC incredibly.
The Reaper will actually
oh wow,
do that.
The longest.
I mean, that was a long way away. Oh, okay, so
yeah,
third hatchery actually coming out here for Liquid Snute. And speed is just about to finish out. I mean, he could just go for a 3-base all in. He hasn't actually pulled the drones out of the gas, but we do indeed now see, there we go, 18 Lings on the production tab. Speed is just about to finish up here, but we do see that Roach Warren behind us as well, so Liquid Snute isn't going to fully commit to the aggression here with these Lings, but it looks like he is going to try and do a run by here and see if he can get some damage done. Speed just finishing up there for Snute. And, I mean, this is clearly something Snute has practiced a fair bit against Terran, because the timers here are just spot on. The Lings will run in here. They will run just right by those Hellions who haven't actually turned around to try and deal with this. And right up into the wall here of Contentgaga. And we'll start to pick away at that wall there. Meanwhile, the Hellions and the Reaper will pick up some of his Lings which have just split off. But Snute will pull these down to try and clean this up.
he did get 3 SCVs, and he's trading as well as can be expected against the Lings with the Hellions that are trapped outside his base. But I mean, he's really like he's keeping the fight on his opponent's side of the map effectively.
Snute will pull back. plenty of
He's
drones.
going to go straight back into drone production, and his third is now completely saturated.
We do see that lair on the way here now as well. What's this? Double Evo chamber? Roach Warren is already out. As you say, very heavily into the drones. No more units going to be produced behind this just yet. And only 2 Lings actually out on the map. Spore Crawlers have already been placed down to hold off any sort of crazy aggression from that single Banshee.
It's denied some creep, but as you said, with the spores up, it's not going to get anything else done except maybe pick off some transferring drone or queen, but it would be risky to move it onto the creep.
And we will see already here, in contrast to the game with TLO earlier, Snoot's creep spread already well underway.
Oh yes, much more so, and definitely something he needs in order to stop those Terran pushes, in order to scout any harassment that could be out positioning, because he won't have those overlords out lurking on the map quite the same way.
So we do actually see a infestation pit just about to finish up for Snute. I wonder if he's actually going to use this to progress into a hive, or whether he actually wants to go for infestors or swarm hosts from this. Well, I suppose we'll see here in just a moment. First 2 infestors are indeed on the production tab there for Snute. So it looks like we're going to see a roach infestor type composition here against Contentgaga. Contentgaga meanwhile across the other side of the map, +1/+1 on the way for those bio units. We do see a large number of Marines already on the way here now with some Medivac support. Contentgaga not actually, I mean, he's had that extra command center up there for a while, but it seems like he's been a bit afraid to move that down onto the low ground and then take that base.
Well, I think he hasn't moved it down because he's been having to or basically make back the SEVs that he lost from the initial Ling pushes. So, I mean, like, he only now has oversaturated his natural and moved his SEVs down.
So we do now see that hive on the way for Snute. Spire has gone down as well, so I expect that we'll probably see that go very quickly into a Great Spire. Once that hive removes, it looks like the hive and the spire have been timed perfectly to actually finish up together there. So it looks like he does want to go for that Great Spire into Broodlords. Meanwhile, Burrow on the way here now for Snute as well.
Healthy Roach count will push back the Hellions, and I find it curious that he's starting Burrow, but no, well, I guess Tunneling Claws would not be that, or not necessarily that useful, but...
No, well, Great Spire is indeed on the way here. We'll morph in a few of these Roaches into Ravagers here as he begins to knock down these rocks. Why, these are weird rocks, these ones, aren't they? Because they don't really inhibit your movement too much. They do put that kind of nasty kink into your route there.
Okay, the Terran push will start, and it is going after the 5th. He has to clear some creep first, but I don't know if... I think he's just going to give up this 5th base and hold the 4th.
I think he is. I mean, Snute actually has pulled back some of his army here, and I think that is might just be a diversion
Actually,
tactic.
this is very scary all of a sudden, because the Broodlords are not ready yet. So this has hit a nice timing.
But
where there's...
Look across the map. So Liquid Snute has pushed into the 3rd of Contentgaga.
Okay.
He's forced the lift there on that command center. And, I mean, SCVs have been pulled off the line here to deal with this push as well. Meanwhile, Contentgaga's force is actually just camping out across the map there.
Now he's gonna pick up all his forces, drop into the main. Unfortunately for Contentgaga, lair was morphed in probably the safest location, or I guess it's hive now, but with the infestors, Bungle is going to catch one of the medivacs, and Sea Shanks are still on the low ground at the third, but they're alone, and that's never a good position.
Did think he was going to catch that one there for just a moment, but Contentgaga actually managed to get that away. I mean, the economy here is really far behind for Contentgaga. He lost, what, 21 SCVs on that last engage? And Liquid Snute, I mean, he lost the base, but there was no drones particularly there for him to lose.
Yeah, no, he could afford to give up that fifth.
Well, first Broodlords are now out on the map. Looks like Liquid Snute is going to start to push forward. He is now approaching being maxed out with this Zerg army here. And well, looks like
another drop is going to move out, but I just don't see a path for this medevac drop that will not get scouted, and that's, I mean, what's 2 medevacs that get scouted?
I mean, Contentgaga did manage to get a little bit more damage done in the main there of Snute, but as you say, no tech really up in the main base there for Snute. And I mean, I like this. I like this multitasking with him. Those Broodlords just kind of hovering around the front of.
He needs to do this. He has to drop, because if he does not drop, the Broodlords end up on top of his bases, and he won't be able to defend that. But this is just such a difficult position, being down 70 supply.
I mean, Snute has a massive army lead here as well. It's 130 to 79 supply. I mean, he can afford to split up his army to deal with these drops and still push forward with the Broodlords. It doesn't even matter if he loses these bases at this point. The Broodlords can just go in and make an absolute mess of Contentgaga's army. He's only got 3 bases down here so far. There's not a lot he can really do against this.
The Broodlords are just going to keep pushing slowly.
Ooh,
and
nice team fort there actually from Contentgaga. Does manage to pick up one of the Broodlords there with Marines, but that ground force now coming in to put some credence underneath this, and we will start blasting away at the base of the Terran there.
There was some pressure at the main and the third, but they got cleaned up, and that will be the end of this game.
Well, GG. Series victory does indeed go to Snute. Wow.